Hello and welcome back to today's video. I have got my camera backpack on. I am going to go take a walk and see if I can't find something to take pictures of today because it's been a little while since I've done that. And then I also have my bucket with me because it is definitely blueberry season, so it's going to hopefully be a little kind of mini photography slash foraging vlog today. So I've got my camera, I've got my bear spray, I've got my inhaler because it's forest fire season, and I do have a Bluetooth speaker if I'm going to be sitting in one place for a while, just as a kind of additional bear deterrent. But yeah, so we're just going to go for a hike, see what we find, and then hopefully we can find either some birds, wildlife, or berries. So the first place we're going to check is down by the river. I'm just at the end of my street, and there's a little path down to get access there. So far, here's some juncos calling, some dark-eyed juncos, but they are staying quite hidden in the bush, so no pictures yet, but I'll see if I can get one, and I'll probably just be sticking the pictures in as the video goes on, just because my professional camera does not have really good video quality, mostly in the sense that like if it's not on a tripod it's really shaky, so it's a little tricky for me to get video clips through the camera of like what I'm actually photographing. But yeah, so gonna see if we can see some shorebirds or some waterfowl down at the river, and then we're gonna keep on the trails to the berry spot. Well, there's not much for birds here today. There's a couple crows, there's a seagull out in the water, or gull, not sure what species. But it's just kind of a quiet, smoky day today. There are a few butterflies hanging out that I might try to get some pictures of. But other than that, it's on to the berry spot. I do love summers in the north. Temperature-wise, much more my thing. I'm not a cold weather person, which is funny because I almost live in the Arctic. But really, I can tolerate warmer temperatures a lot better than I tolerate cold temperatures. I do have to say, top 3 negatives about summer in the northern boreal forest / taiga is probably number 1, the biting flies, because I react very severely to them. Allergic reaction, they itch and swell for weeks. Number 2 would be forest fire smoke. I am asthmatic, I do have my inhaler with me, and I do need to take it quite regularly because of all the forest fires. And then number 3, by far, is walking into all the spider webs. I hate spiders. Alright, well, we made it back to the road. We really didn't see much for birds. There's either a white-crowned or right-throated sparrow, but it was pretty deep in the bush. And I didn't get any good looks or any good pictures. So now we're just gonna head to the berry spot. I think it's gonna be mostly just berry picking with maybe something opportunistic in terms of photos. But so far, not so great on the photo game. It's a bit of a different ball game from the south like I'm used to, where you can see for more than 5 feet in front of your face. So I definitely haven't got it figured out yet. It kind of seems like you have to move a lot in an open area, which is mostly just roads, or you kind of have to know where they hang out and just sit and wait. So far I don't know either spots. So summer's been slow for photography, but that's okay. What are you? Probably a squirrel. Alrighty, I'll see you guys at the berry spot. And these are the blueberries we're looking for. So you're really wanting them to get deep blue and fairly large. And there will be the sweet ones. Some of these like smaller ones technically like could be ripe, but if you let them go a little bit longer, they do end up being a bit sweeter. Nice little snack. And as always, I feel like it goes without saying, but it's always worth mentioning. Please never eat anything that you're not 110% sure what it is. There's lots of things that have lookalikes, cranberries being one of them. There's quite a few on the ground here, but they have a lookalike that's not edible, and so I just haven't even touched them because I'm not confident in my ability to tell the difference. Blueberries, on the other hand, I do know those ones are okay. And then the fun part is that anything that is, there's a specific term for it, but like a raspberry where it's like a bunch of seeds together to form a berry, but they're all like stuck together. Whatever the term for that is, all of those berries in North America are edible. So that's like your blackberries, your raspberries, brambleberries, cloudberries, all those other ones, which is a cool fact I learned recently. So still, don't eat it unless you're 110% sure. Alright, and this is our blueberry spot. So it's an old clearing with lots of sunlight, and the entire ground is just a field of different berries. So mostly blueberries, some cranberries. I believe this is bunchberry, which I don't believe is edible, so I stay clear of that. But we are here to pick the blueberries today. And there are definitely other clearings that have berries much closer to town than this. This is a little bit of a hike out to get to this spot, but I believe it's always customary to leave the closer locations accessible to those who don't have the same mobility as other people, and so I definitely don't mind a bit more of a hike. Go, you know, kind of jump the first couple spots and maybe start at the third or fourth spot for your picking, just to make sure that those who aren't as accessible have access to the wild foraging opportunities as well. So because it's still early in the season, I'm really only trying to pick like the 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 biggest berries off each bunch, because the smaller ones are just still a little bit tart for my liking. I like the sweet blueberries. The other thing is that if they don't pop off the stem like fairly easily, if you have to like pull on them quite a bit, they are probably not ripe yet and going to be a little bit sour. So that is definitely one way you can judge it as well. Oops, dropped that one. I do drop a lot. I just leave them because it's food for the other animals and also a natural part of the cycle to start more plants. So I'm not too worried about that. And then I also like to jump locations fairly regularly and not kind of just pick every single berry off every single bush in like one central area. I try to spread it out a bit. So it might be a little difficult to believe, but I actually picked this patch like 3 days ago. And there are just so many berries. I just think it's so cool that this is literally within 20 minutes of where we live, and just for so much abundance. That's one of the planes coming back from fighting the fires on the river. So far, it's going good. The plan for the berries is I would like to freeze some to have over winter, just to pull out and make into muffins or into cobblers or kind of anything like that, even just in smoothies. Fruit is a lot harder to get in the grocery store in the winter in good condition, so that's mainly what it's for, to have some fruit on hand over the winter. But then also I'm hoping to potentially make a batch of blueberry jam with this, and then also just some fresh snacking, because I love blueberries. They're like one of my favorite fruits. Well, the sun is starting to slowly drop. We've been out here for at least an hour, maybe longer, but we have picked probably a third of this container. A little bit less than I was hoping for, but I was also just really enjoying the quiet and taking my time. And it's also really hot, and I was really sweaty after walking here. So we are going to make our way back, maybe pick a couple along the way. But yeah, time to go home, get some supper, get these rinsed off, and then probably gonna just freeze them for now until I decide for sure what I'm gonna do with this batch. Alright, we are back home. Time to go get these watched up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the next video.